Hey guys, Monochrome here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Genuinely good to have you. Today, we're going to take a look at something from a legendary knife company. That's right, Sheffield of England. And way back in the day, before any of us were alive, if you were a Civil War soldier, especially a Confederate soldier, and you had a Sheffield Bowie knife, you had an absolutely excellent quality backup weapon to your rifle. And quite frankly, quite a few Northern soldiers had Sheffield Bowie knives as well. Back then, Sheffield, wow, an absolutely amazing company. This is a modern day Sheffield knife from a few years back. It's not current stock, although perhaps Sheffield still makes it. I know they make similar razor knives to this one. I bought this one a few years ago and really felt no need to replace it with a slightly more modern version from Sheffield. And yes, you can still find this on eBay. And good news, if your favorite color is blue, well, the two biggest options you can get with a Sheffield razor knife as far as handle colors is either red like this one or a couple of different shades of blue. So there you go. But let's take a look at how far this legendary company has fallen. Now, I will say this, in terms of a razor folding knife, this one is quite good. I haven't had any major problems with it, although if you take a close look, you can see that the finish, yeah, they didn't spend a lot of time on it. This is, quite frankly, guys, a very, very inexpensive tool for a construction worker or the DIYer who might have a major home renovation, home improvement project, and you need something, for example, cutting apart a dirty carpet that the last homeowners had installed, that sort of thing. This isn't something that you're going to baby. This isn't something, well, I know there are some guys who EDC similar razor folding knives, but yeah, most of us don't. Let's just be realistic with that. This is something for dirty jobs at the construction site, um, dirty home renovation jobs. Again, that maybe that old shag 1970s carpet in the living room that's full of a lot of things you don't want me to mention, that sort of thing. Cutting it up, ripping it open, yeah. So overall, this is a good example of a modern day folding razor knife. Something for heavier duty chores than your typical flat box cutter. Right there, yep. If I can get the angle right, yep. Nice little illustration on how to swap out the blade. And the way you do it is you actually push down on these two things that look like flat, thin thumb studs. They are not thumb studs. Please do not try to use this thing one-handed. It is so ridiculously easy for this portion to slip back down, and it's going to slip back down on your fingers. So yeah, please. I know there are some folding razor knives that have actual thumb studs. This is not one of them, although it looks as though it has them. No, this is a two-handed opening and closing job. But what you're going to do is index finger and thumb, place them on either side of these thumb stud looking things. You're going to push down. That pops up, and that releases the standard size blade. And then to put it back, again, index finger and thumb, push down, and then reinsert it. And that's something that's a little finicky, so you need to be careful. Yeah, I don't think that's seated properly. Okay, there we go. Yeah, clicked into place. Now, if you want to use more of the actual razor, sorry, on the inside, this thing has only one position, and that's it right there. Unlike some razor knives where you can extend the blade out a little further, this one has one position, but hey, nothing wrong with that. It works well. The razor, and I'm trying not to cut my fingers open, yeah, it wobbles just the tiniest bit, but it's been my experience that's pretty much all razor knives, not just this one from Sheffield. So you do have, yep, right there, printed right on it, how to swap out the blade. Nice diagram, stainless steel. On this side, you've got some lawyerese, warning, extremely sharp blade, patented. Yeah, I'm surprised it doesn't say, do not let children play with this. What the hell is wrong with you? Again, the overall construction is good, but this is designed to be as utilitarian as heck. This isn't some fancy folding knife. This isn't something you're going to be proud to show off to your fellow knife collectors. Yeah, this is just something for mundane, dirty construction jobs. Get it done. Let's move on. The handle scales here, they are a little rough, which is what you want. The red portion with these, yeah, oddly shaped checkering. It is a tiny bit functional, but mostly for show. I mean, really, it's just a tiny bit functional. But it's better than a completely smooth handle scale. The black portion here is smooth. Yeah, it's not finished very well, but again, this isn't some fancy rich man's EDC folder. On this side, again, besides the lawyerese, we have a one-position tip-down carry clip. And the clip, yeah, it works well as a pocket carry clip. But again, one position only. Although, since this is something you're going to use at the construction site and you're left-handed, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Instead of sitting in your pocket this way, with the blade facing forward, in a left-hander's pocket, it'll sit this way with the blade facing in the opposite direction, but who cares? Who cares? It's a work knife, guys. Also, please bear with me. I'm still fighting this stubborn cold, and it is just lingering on, refusing to leave. Oh, modern day Dayquil has gotten a lot less effective than it was just a few years ago. Yeah, it's 2025, everything's made cheaply, everything doesn't work the way it should. So ironically, I'm kind of glad I'm reviewing a Sheffield folding razor knife from a few years ago. I haven't bought a modern day version. I'm hoping it's at least as good as this one. And it is good for what it is. So yeah, pocket carry clip, Sheffield name, one position only. Let's take a look at the lock mechanism. Traditional rocker lock in the traditional rear position. Again, guys, these look like thumb studs. They are not. These are the release mechanism to swap out the blade. So, two-hand operation. Locks with authority. I will give it that. No side-to-side play, no up and down play. That's what you want on something like this. So yeah, although there is some play with the razor blade itself, again, very common on razor knives. No play here. And on the bottom, you do actually have jimping. And it is functional, more functional than this weird checkering. The jimping is absolutely functional. And because this is a razor knife and the cutting edge starts here and then ends, you don't have to hold it like a traditional knife, although you could. However, if you put your index finger here and thumb on top, it does make for a slightly awkward grip. However, you get the same thing on any folding razor knife from any company of similar design. Yeah, this is not an exclusive design to Sheffield. The really nice thing about choking up here isn't just the jimping. If this lock mechanism should fail during heavy use, well, you got your index finger right there preventing the blade from slamming shut on your fingers. I like that. There's no jimping on top anywhere. If we go by just the handle, it's going to be realistically a 3-finger grip. If we go by this portion and the handle, you can easily get all 4 fingers on there. No lanyard hole, unfortunately. But on something like this, at the job site, you don't really need it. No. And as for the clip being shiny instead of black, or the clip definitely not being low profile, again, this is not an EDC knife. This is something that most guys will carry around their home. That much of the handle sticking up. They'll carry it at the job site or construction site. So this is not something where you need a low profile carry clip, have it black so you don't accidentally scare the sheeple or have a police officer notice your clip, walk up to you and say, "Sir, I need to speak with you." No. This clip is functional. It doesn't need to be low profile carry. It doesn't need to be black. Not at all. I mean, this thing is cheaply made, but all of the important sections are secure, they're tight, they function the way they're supposed to. The rocker lock on here is definitely not a cheap piece of junk. It works properly. And that's one of the most important things on a folding razor knife. You want that lock to be beefy and work. This one works properly. No issues with the lock at all. No issues with any of the important parts of this razor knife. Again, this is a slightly older model, but yeah, you should be able to easily find it on eBay. The slightly newer Sheffield models, I don't have experience with those. That's why I'm reviewing this one. Although I will say overall, I've been happy with it. I haven't used it a ton, but I've owned it for quite a few years now. And for the low amount that I paid for it, it works really well. I'm happy with it. This is my go-to folding razor knife. And yes, I do own others. And yes, I did review a modern day Milwaukee razor knife. And that one is really good. But it does come with a couple of bells and whistles. If you want something that's just bare bones, does what it's supposed to do, something that you're not really going to care if it gets dirty, gunked up, yeah, this is an excellent choice, because that Milwaukee razor knife I reviewed quite a while back, yeah, that's not a cheap one. No, that's not a cheap one at all. If you just need a cheap one that gets the job done, no fuss, no muss, no extra bells and whistles, check out the ones sold by Sheffield or made by Sheffield. Yeah, you can definitely still find this slightly older model on eBay. I don't think they're discontinued, but yeah, nothing fancy, nothing to write home about, nothing that will take place a ton of praise or take a large, impressive place in your knife collection, but sometimes you don't need fancy. And do you really want to use your semi-custom $400 folding knife on some dirty carpet that the previous owners left behind at your new house? No, you don't. You want to use something like this. And this definitely gets the job done when it comes to dirty tasks at home or the construction site. Yes. I've been very happy with this one. A really good, no frills folding razor knife. I do recommend it. Obviously, not for EDC purposes. Yeah, it's a little bit too heavy for that, just a little bit. But for what it is and the types of jobs you're going to take care of with this thing, I do recommend it. Guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. I'll see you soon. Hopefully when this darn cold leaves my body. But stay safe out there, guys. Unfortunately, it is still dangerous.